Hello everyone, how are you? Hope you're having a good day. This video is mostly about hearing, but we will also look at speaking. If you haven't already, check out our video on the physics of sound, but here we're going to look at the biology of sound as humans and many other animals as well. So, how do you hear? Take a moment to think about it. If I ask you this question, your first answer might be, I hear using my ears. But how do your ears hear? So in this video, we will look at what the ears are doing and how the voice is made. But again, stop right now and write down what you think is happening when compression waves go into your ear. So let's have a look at the ear. Here is a diagram of the human ear. You might have seen it before. There are many parts to it, and this diagram is really only showing a few of them. But this is the device that you use, like a microphone, to make sound out of the compression waves in the world. What happens when compression waves enter your ear? They are directed down the ear canal. And here they hit the tympanic membrane, which is also called the eardrum. And this eardrum vibrates, and those vibrations are passed on to tiny bones in the middle ear, but the bones pass the vibrations into the inner ear, and the vibrations travel up the cochlea, which is shaped like a seashell, and they are transmitted to the vestibular and cochlear nerves, and those connect to the brain. Let's just go through the parts of the ear that we looked at there and talk about exactly what they are. There are many more parts, and it is a very complex system. We are oversimplifying it here, but these are the parts we have looked at. On the outside is the pinna, also called the auricle, and this is the outer part of the ear, the bit that we in everyday language call an ear. Then there is the ear canal, which is the hole that leads through the outer ear and to the eardrum. The eardrum, or tympanic membrane, is a thin sheet of flesh that separates the outer ear from the middle ear, and this sheet vibrates when it is hit by compression waves. Then there are the little bones, the malleus, the hammer, the incus, the anvil, and the stapes, which is also called the stirrup. These are three tiny bones that focus the sound waves in the middle ear and pass them on to the cochlea. The cochlea, or inner ear, is filled with liquid, and the sound waves pass through this liquid and are detected by tiny little hairs and converted into electrical signals. These signals are passed on to the vestibulocochlear nerve, and vestibulocochlear nerve is a joint name for the two nerves which carry the information from the cochlea to the brain to be decoded. And no, I did not say vestibulocochlear right first time. In fact, the ears are not just for hearing. The cochlear nerve transmits the sound information, but the vestibular nerve, the other nerve connecting to the brain, is for something else. Did you notice that the inner ear, the cochlea, has these three small rings in it? Do you know, or can you guess, what the liquid-filled rings might help us to do? Well, they are actually to help us keep balance in the body. The vestibular system connects to the brain to tell us what way up is. The vestibular system helps you stand up and keep your balance when you are moving around. A bit like a spirit level helps you make things flat. So here we come again to the question, what is sound? Do we need to ask it again? Well, in our earlier video on the physics of sound, we said that sound is a wave. But is it? Air pressure changes in lots of ways. Air pressure changes when the weather changes, and that does not make any sound. So why is this pressure wave different? In a way, sound does not really exist until it has gone into the ear and been turned into something by the brain. This can get quite philosophical, really, like the old question, if a tree falls in the woods and there is no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? The answer to this question really does depend on what you want to call sound. If you want to call the compression waves sound, then yes, it does make a sound. But if you think sound is something that is decoded by an ear and sent to a brain, then no, a tree falling in the woods with no one there to hear it does not actually make a sound. What do you think? Now let's move on to how we make sound. And sound is made by humans, at least in the voice box. Here is a diagram. It is at the top of the trachea, and the voice box is also called the larynx. The vocal cords are the main part of the larynx that allows us to control air from our lungs to make noises of different frequencies. They are protected by cartilage. These noises are then given more shapes by the mouth and tongue, and this is how we make all the sounds that we use to create speech. Let's look at the different parts of the throat now. Again, this is a very simple picture of how the throat works, and we have looked at it very quickly. But starting at the top, we have the tongue, which we all know as the muscle that shapes sound in the mouth. It is the only muscle in the human body that is loose at one end. At the back of the mouth, there are two pipes, the esophagus and the trachea. The esophagus is the pipe that food goes down to the stomach when swallowing. The trachea is the pipe that air goes down to the lungs when breathing. Also note, esophagus is sometimes spelled with an O at the beginning. Protecting the trachea is the epiglottis, a large fold of flesh at the back of the mouth. This stops food from going in the windpipe by accident, and it also helps with making some sounds. The supraglottis, or larynx, also called the voice box, is the area around the vocal cords that help to create sound in different ways. And the vocal cords themselves are a pair of membranes that vibrate to make the voice at different frequencies. All of the voice box and the vocal cords are protected by cartilage, which is a soft bone-like substance that protects the area. It is also found in other parts of the body as well. Let's just look at those vocal cords, shall we? Here you can see the two white membranes vibrating to create a certain frequency of sound. This is how you give your voice a different pitch. The shape of the mouth and the larynx then create the vowel sound of your voice, whether that is a, e, or something else. And the consonants are made by stopping or constricting the air in different ways, like in an S, S, or a P. And that is where we will leave our quick look at hearing and speech. I hope you found this video interesting and enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video and maybe share it with a friend. You can also subscribe to MYEP Science to keep up with our other science content. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.